On this edition of Phantom Features, we interview the new administrators at Phoenixville High School. For this segment, CJ Kronmuller speaks with Mr. Mike Fierras about his role as assistant principal and the transition he is making from the classroom to the office. All of that coming up right now.
All right, Mr. Fierras, welcome. It's great to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, so the school year is well underway. How's it going for you so far?
Fast. It's going very, very fast. High energy with the back to school and all the students and all the classes, and it's just been a whirlwind. It's been exciting.
What are your responsibilities specifically as a principal?
Oh, great. As the assistant principal, I'm responsible for the 10th grade class as well as 11th graders, letters G through M. We've divided it up amongst the other 3 assistant principals, as well as some departments, heading some departments, and just kind of helping overseeing the school in general.
What do you like best about being a school administrator, and what are some challenges?
That's a tough question. The best thing, there's so many great things about being an administrator. I think one of the greatest things, I have the ability not just affect one classroom or a group of students, but I have the ability to manage and help support every student, every teacher, every stakeholder in a building. And I think that's it's a very rewarding feeling. I think you develop a lot more relationships that way. And some of the challenges, I think, too, are that everybody expects that. So everybody is looking for that support constantly, and you're being pulled in so many directions. So it's really a chess game that you really have to prioritize. Yeah.
Tell us about the transition from teaching to being an administrator. What has that been like, and what adjustments have you made to fit in?
When you hear a bell, you don't have to be in a room at an exact time. That's been very weird and awkward for me. I hear that bell and I'm, oh, what period are we in? What classroom do I have to be in? And I think prioritizing, not knowing that 7th period, I have to teach Algebra 1, so I have to take out that lesson plan and I have to do these, but knowing that I have these long projects now. I have PSATs coming up in 2 weeks, and being able to chunk away at it at smaller times, not things so put together. I think time management, I had to adjust, and really prioritizing and making sure that I understand what's coming down the line is what I had to really, that was the biggest challenge for me.
Having had the teaching experience, how has that helped you moving into administrator?
I think I can relate to the students a lot. The student body is amazing, and I think they know me as the teacher or as the coach, and I think it builds that relationship not only with the students but also with the teachers. I think we have something to relate to. We have a common ground, and I think for myself personally, I understand now both sides of the coin. So I think it's very easy to talk to.
It's always great when principals and teachers have a connection with the students.
Absolutely.
How about goals for the year? What would you like to achieve?
I would love to get to the end of the year knowing that everything that was put on my plate, whether it was the PSATs or help supporting with Keystones or whatever has gone to my plate, that I was able to get it done in a timely manner. But the biggest thing is that to make sure that in all decisions that we make, that there was student learning going on, that teachers were supported in any way to help facilitate that student learning, and that we put things in place to help facilitate that student learning. That's number one. So if we get to the end of the year and I said, what have I done? What goal have I achieved? Was student learning? Was that the number one thing, and did that occur? That's what I want.
You're always working with the faculty, the students, the community, and the district administration, all having requests and demands. How do you manage all of that?
Oh, man, what a question. I think I kind of alluded to it previously about being pulled in so many different directions. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think whenever I'm being pulled in multiple different directions by different stakeholders, I always go back to that piece I was just alluding to, is that prioritizing it by what is most beneficial to the students now. And I think if you ask yourself that question, it really simplifies everything. I think making sure that everybody feels like you're acknowledging them, and knowing that there is a pecking order and a priority of tasks that need to get done now, but also keeping in mind, bring it back down to earth. Where do I need to be? What do I need to do at this point in time? What can sit on the burner for another 30 seconds? And I think if you just kind of take things that way, you put the work in on everything, results will get done.
In terms of working with students, what can the students expect from you?
I think the students can definitely expect, once a teacher, always a teacher. So if a student ever came to me and said, I'm not getting this algebra thing, I will be the first one to just and just let's get back down to it. But I think I'm always going to be there to support them in anything they need, whether it's educational, social, emotional, sports. I will always be there to support the students' growth. I think another thing they'll be able to expect from me is to be strict but fair as an administrator. I want students to know that whether you're a former player, a former student, there will be consequences if you're in a situation that deserves consequences, but there will be rewards if you're in a situation that deserves a pat on the back and rewards. And no matter who you are, I want to have the same method and the same idea translate from student to student. But I also want them to see me as somebody that is doing it for their benefit, for learning to take place, whether it is education or discipline.
And turning the question around, what can you expect from the students?
That right there, that's a very unique question, and I really like it because I was teaching here for a few years before being an administrator, and I expect the same thing from the students now as I did when I was in my classroom. This is a learning community, and it's our community. The number one thing is that learning process, but I just want us to respect each other. I want them to respect me just as much as I respect them. I want them to care for me and this community as much as I care for them and the Phoenixville community. So really, just that same thing that I preached in my classroom. This is our community. This is our neighborhood. Let's treat it as such, whether it's the classroom, this school, or the district as a whole. Let's just treat it like we're all family.
Tell us something about yourself that the students in the community might not know.
Something that they don't know. I feel like I'm an open book. I feel like I talk to people about everything. Something we may not know.
Do you want time to think about that?
No. I think I recently had a child who is 1 year old, and 1 year old, not plural, and she just took her first steps a few days ago, and it's the most thrilling thing that I think may have ever happened to me, and many things have happened to me. But that might not be the answer you're looking for. So if you want to talk, please feel free to come, and I'll tell you anything.
No, that's fine. I remember when my little cousins, my baby cousins, just started walking
Yeah.
and talking. So that was always a thrill to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great to have you and great to talk to you today.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yep.